Hey, hi all. Welcome back to the channel again. Today we are going to discuss about local variables. This is a continuation of, component communication part. So it's nothing but, continuation of the last video. So in the last video, we have learned, communicating or sharing data between components using input decorative and output decorative. So in today's video, we are going to achieve the same thing using template variables. So what do we mean by template variables, right? So template variables are nothing but a mechanism to identify a particular template by an identifier, right? So we can give certain identifiers to templates using hash, right? And through that identifier, we can access, that particular components um, attributes or properties or methods, right? So it start with hash keyword, and then after that whatever name you prefer to give as a local variable you can give as per your need, right? So let's understand how we can achieve the same thing how we have achieved in the last video using local variables, and what could be the syntax of it in action. So let's start. As you can see on the UI, we have three buttons in the parent component, and in the child component we don't have any button. We just have a counter variable which has value of 0 as of now. So we are going to increase its value using these two buttons, and we are going to display whatever the counter value we have increased or decreased below this show counter button in a label, right? Once we click on this show counter button. So this is how we are going to access or manipulate the counter variable of child component through parent component using local variables. Okay, so there is actually a limitations of using local variables. Local variables are only applies on the HTML template of particular component itself. So for example, we are rendering this child component inside the parent component. So we can able to access, or if we give that particular local variable on the selector of child component, then we may use that particular local variable inside this parent component's template itself. Templates in the sense HTML itself. So let's see how we can achieve that. So as we have seen in the UI, we don't have anything in the app components ts file. We just have an import for the child component over here, and we have added that in the imports array as usual, right? And in the app html, as you can see, there is app list component selector has been given as usual to render it on the UI. So now this has become a part of parent components html template, right? So now what we can do, let's give some functions to you know um, modify this value, right? So what we need to do, we can just give two uh, functions to increment this value, counter plus plus, let's say, and then decrement, as we have used the same methods in the last video. Just a difference over here is these methods were part of the parent component, but now these are a part of child component itself. So if it is less than 0, then only decrement it, this dot counter minus minus, right? Else this dot counter is equals to 0, right? So this much we need to do. And now using template variables, we will able to access this counter variable, this increment method, this decrement method of child into parents HTML. So how to do that, right? So to do that, we just need to give hash and then the identifier to it, right? So this is nothing but, this is called a template ID, we can say, in the Angular. So it starts with hash, and the name whatever you prefer, you can give that name over here, right? So using this name, let's add click event handlers for the increment counter now. So let's add a click event handler child dot increment. So now what we are doing over here, so on the click of parents button, we are accessing or calling the method of child, right? Child component using this local variable, right? So this is how we can access the methods of child component using local variable. And here we'll just call decrement method. And now show counter variable we have, right? So now on the click of show counter variable, what we can do, we can just add a p tag over here. Let's say p, right? So before that p, just add a plain text counter from child, something like this. And we'll just give a identifier for this p as well. Let's say output, right? So now using this output, using this child, we are able to access this, we can able to manipulate this output or this p tag as well using this output variable. So let's say we need to update the inner HTML of it. Inner HTML is equal to child dot, we can access the property counter, right? Counter dot toString, like this. So now on the click of show counter, what we are doing, we are just and NBSP, just a space before this p tag. Now we are updating this p tags inner HTML by accessing child's counter property, and this p tag we are accessing again using local variable output, right? So let's see how it goes on the UI. So let me increase the counter over here. You can see I'm able to increase the counter, and if I click show counter, it shows me the whatever counter value right now it is. If I decrease it, you can see if I click on show counter, it decreases the value, right? If you want to make it dynamic, so you can do that as well, right? So you just need to give this inside the increment and decrement method call as well. And inside over here, let's say uh, first we'll make inner HTML as empty, and then then we'll just update it, okay, on the click of show counter. So now when I start incrementing it, you can see the value is getting updated over here on the click of increment, and we are accessing the current value over here, okay. So once click event happens, it accesses the current value and then displays over here. On the click of decrement, again the same thing is happening, and on the click of show counter, we are updating its value again, like making it empty and then updating whatever the last incremented or decremented value it is, we are showing over here. So this is how you can make use of the local variables. And the disadvantage of this approach is the only thing that the template variables are often used, or actually strictly used in the HTML template itself, and these are not accessible inside the TS file. So that's the reason we did not wrote single word in the TS file. Still we are managing to update the values of that counter variable of child template or child component using the template variable, right? So this is how we do it, and I hope you have understood this approach as well. So if you like this video, hit like and share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon, and from bell icon choose the option, first option, that is nothing but all, so that you never miss any new updates coming from this channel. Thanks all guys, let's meet in next video.